All right, everybody. Welcome to Coffee for Closers. Alex Wellings here. I'm joined in studio by the great and powerful Mr. Dillon Walts, the head of the creative department. He is directing basically every creative initiative that we're doing here, on top of all the projects from branding to marketing to the new website, My Megastar Portal. We just reviewed that, by the way. Kudos. Yeah. Nice job. Nice work.
Thank you. I'm excited to be on.
So the big thing that I think a lot of folks were wanting to chat about was I guess this is kind of the main reason. I had talked to you back when we were planning content here, and I realized that the grand majority of advisors, either coming into Megastar or those that have been with us for a long time, were having a very similar issue, right? They were all coming in, and they were having a branding issue. Or you kind of pointed that out. It's like every one of them's got a branding issue.
Yeah.
Very interesting. You're maybe we can talk just a little bit about some of the branding stuff that you mean. Like, what do you particularly mean by branding? Where does it start? And then we'll just kind of go from there on how people can fix it, what we can do at Megastar, what the creative team has done to help kind of make things a little streamlined, easy for them to update their branding strategy.
Sure. I mean, whenever you're building a brand, it's very important to focus on what you specialize in.
Yeah, they don't do that.
No. It's crucial, right? When you're trying to branch out and separate yourself from everybody else that's in the same market, right? So what is it that you do that's different than the guy next door?
Right. They're all like, it seems as though the financial advisors or the world we're in, they all had their IMO or a third party put together a website for them that didn't understand the business that they were in, right? So what do most IMOs do with the website? They're not designing it themselves. They sub it out to some third-party group. The third-party group puts something together for them, and they kind of take that cookie-cutter financial advisor profile, about us, the who we are page or whatever you want to call it, the maybe something about their workshops, and then the services they offer, and the contact us page, right?
Yeah.
Cookie cutter. But all the content on it was all the same. You'd go in, you'd see, a picture of the guy. He'd talk about his college history and how he got to be in this business and his family life, and that's it. It's like nothing about what this guy's doing different, like you're saying. Yeah. And then also, it was treated like it's just kind of this redheaded stepchild of, I don't really need this. I'm not getting any prospects from it. I'm not getting anything from this source. So I'll just leave it to get outdated.
Yeah.
But as you kind of mentioned before we went on the show today, it was like, okay, this is becoming, it's not going to be necessarily a lead generator for you, although it could be if you were like a master promoter of yourself. But if you weren't, and most advisors don't have the time to be a master promoter of themselves, it is something that could discredit you. Maybe not give you, if I go to a website, I'm not necessarily going to fill out a form on that website and start subscribing to content or whatever, but I'm definitely looking at a website and being like, is this sketchy? If it's not looking clean and sharp and up to date, and like, who is this guy? Is he not relevant anymore?
Yeah, because typically when somebody goes on the internet, they're looking for something specific, right? Right. They're not just going to the first person that does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's like if I typed into Google financial services near me, I'm not going to pop up with Barless Financial Group right here. It's going to be Raymond James.
Yeah.
TD, it's going to be all of these people that are paying for ad spots way before me. And then like the most clickbait stuff that's been clicked on a whole bunch. And then way back on page 3 is going to be the independent advisors. They're probably who you want to be with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's true.
So what do? We go out, we market, we do workshops, we do federal program stuff, we do something to get in front of people, and then they click on, at the end of the day, they're like, oh, I'm going to book an appointment with Dillon Walts. Dillon's the financial advisor in the area. He clicks that website page, he ends up there, and it's like completely outdated. You just want to do a little bit of research before you go in. You go in, it's completely outdated.
Yeah. So, and I always relate it back to really focusing on your specialty, right? And that's how you're going to brand yourself in your area, right? So I know if something was going on in my life and I had a medical emergency, right? I'm not going to go to the first urgent care that I see. All right. I'm going to do my research and look up who's the specialist that's going to be able to help me out with this problem.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going to go.
Right.
It's no different in the financial industry.
We saw that a lot with, you remember Kane Crawford? He, well, he obviously remembered Kane Crawford, but I mean, like, he was on the show recently, not too long ago. But Kane last year or the year prior had a new website built. Because his old website, although it was somewhat targeted to federal employees, didn't do enough to really scream up to date. He wanted something that screamed, federal, because he's an all federal guy. David Connor came and wanted to update his website because his website was kind of generic, classic example of a generic website. David's a top producer and one of the foremost experts on Social Security in the country. And he pops on and has a website that doesn't really specify that he is that, It's like, who's this guy? Oh, he's just a retirement planner. That's okay. But people don't realize that he's like one of the foremost experts on Social Security planning, how to maximize Social Security. He almost wrote the book on the Social Security workshop. And now his website does a much better job of explaining that,
Yeah.
So how do you guys approach a website to help build it? What is Megastar's model? I know we've got like some themes that we use, but what's the goal when you set out to revamp somebody's website?
So before we even start, the biggest thing is I'd look at you, Al, and I'd be like, all right, so I know you do estate planning, you do taxes,
right?
You help people understand, Social Security, but what is it that you do that separates you? And federal seems to be, it's an easy topic to go into.
Yeah.
Right? Not everybody knows federal benefits.
Right.
So if you told me I've been doing
nothing but federal.
I've been doing nothing but federal for the last 20 years.
Right.
That's what you need to hone in on.
Right. And then you'll go and you'll kind of take from like the new age things. Cause that's it. It's like, you look at some of the old websites, it's like square, it's a bunch of blocks. Just blocks and sections on the website, but now it's like this free-flowing website. Some images stick with the website as you scroll. There's videos playing in the background, kind of softly. That's been the super exciting stuff. Is like, wow, okay, when I get to that website, it's like think about the psychology behind it. If you have a website that's outdated, I don't know that you're still in business anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
What's your call to action?
Or at least you're not in business doing well enough to afford a nice new website that's easy to navigate anymore. Right? So who am I dealing with? It's like you're already, maybe you're not breaking rapport permanently and you've just lost the sale, but you're certainly hurting your rapport equity, right? Yeah. If you get there and it's like, oh, well, now I've got doubts that I didn't have before. I just heard this guy talk for an hour last night. He's super intelligent, but now I'm walking into his website and he looks kind of like shady.
Every website needs to have a strong call to action, right?
Call to action, yeah.
Right? If you get to a website and all it is content, is it really going to be the person you're going to call? Right. No, it's going to be somebody's website that directed you, oh man, that's what I've been looking for. Right? And then you fill out a lead form. And now, as Mr. Advisor or Mrs. Advisor, I just got a new lead.
Right.
Whereas somebody may have just surfed my website and then gone to the next person.
Sure. Right. And, you want to be something proud of that you can promote everywhere, and you promote it on social media. Here, bring up David Connor's website real quick. This is David's new website that you guys built for him.
Yep.
Pretty cool. I remember this. First off, he did a little rebrand. It wasn't called Retire or RTAG. It was called something else.
Connor Financial.
Connor Financial. Okay.
Yep.
So it's pretty standard, independent financial title or company title, name of the company. But now he's changed it to RTAG, which is Retire Transition Advisory Group. Great, good name. But then down here is like, okay, now we're like right on the front and center of the page is Social Security. It's like, okay, this is a guy that specializes in maximizing Social Security. So it's a classic example of where it would have been something like, let me bring up one of the advisors that's coming in the next month to redo their website is David and Britton Ouellette.
Yeah.
And I just got off a call with them. I just was on a phone call with them. They wanted to chat about what they were going to be doing to kind of revamp content on the website when they come down, to talk specifically about what they do for their clients. But they wanted to know what the design world was going to be like coming in. And I said, look, you're going to come in, you're going to have a sit down with Dillon, and this is something that if you're a Megastar advisor and you need an update to your website, we can talk about what it goes into doing this. But essentially, at the end of the day, you book a day, you're in Florida, you come in, you sit in the morning with Dillon and his team. Yep. Dillon will come in and talk you through everything. You can bring it down for just a second. You're going to sit down with Dillon and his team, and he is going to kind of lay the foundations, kind of get to know what you're looking for from a design eye. What is it that you absolutely need on the website? Is there anything in particular you really wanted to spotlight? What's the particulars of your practice? Like you're saying, what specialized do you have or specialties? But then afterwards, we're going to go film the content we need. So we'll do a little content plan in that meeting with Dillon. And then basically, and we'll do a little prep work before you even come down. But then we go film that content. When we come back out, if there's any changes to the design element, that would be when we'd start to tell Dillon, well, we went in with this intent into the studio, but we came out with these kind of pieces. We're really excited about that. Maybe we spotlight that a little more. And now Dillon's on his way with his team for the next 2 weeks to put this website together, and boom. Yeah. Right? Something like that. On.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is that you're going to walk them through all kinds of website designs, from like, looking at our tech. Do we like some of the elements of this website? And do we like what Kane's offering? Now, let's look at Kane's website here.
Yeah. Typically you're going to pull from what works, right?
Right.
And try to apply it to.
Look at Kane's. Kane's all federal.
Yeah.
This soft video playing in the background. You've got yourself a nice flowing website. Makes a lot of sense. Ready to take the next step. You got his book highlighted. It's all fed all the time. Look at the color scheme, everything. It's all federal.
And Kane does more than just federal, right?
He does.
But this was his main focus, right?
Right.
Because this is what separated him from everybody in the pack, right? And now he's getting more traffic to his website than it ever has.
Yeah, it's so clean. And this is kind of what the goal is, not the federal specifically for the outlets, but the outlets are coming on and they're changing a website like this. This is a good website 5-10 years ago.
Yep.
It's not a bad website. It's got content on it. You got lots of images. You know what this company does. They're a financial group. You've got, what I did like is this page. They have a nice headshots on here, good description. They've got the lead capture system. This was a great website 5-10 years ago.
And I will say that about 70% of the people that I see, this is what their websites.
Of course it is.
Yeah, because it's worked for so long.
Why change it? Why invest the money in it?
We've shifted.
But you have to. Because if you show up at a workshop afterwards, there's so much more you can do now. You couldn't do so much with your website back then, right? You might have some integration with a form that would allow you to capture subscribers or add them to an email list. But now you're able to create automations and show benefit analysis and generate reports for people right on their website. And it's easy and cheap and effective, and it's not impossible to do. It used to be impossible. Yep. You'd have to go run these things yourself. But now you can let's throw Kane's website back up there. You got Kane's website here. It's like he's putting everything he does right on his website, including his educational workshops, which I'm sure he's not doing a ton of them right now because of the COVID stuff. But, this is where they would list out. He's got a little promo for what he talks about at his workshops. It's just, anyway, it's a no-brainer strategy to update your website like David did, if that's the goal.
Website's it's not supposed to be just out there for content, right?
Yeah.
The whole idea of a website is to bring people into your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give them a reason to.
Now, are a ton of people going to come into your business this way as an independent advisor? I don't think a ton of them. But again, like I was saying before, it's not that a website is going to bring you customers, but it might drive customers away.
Correct.
And you have to have a good business card out there. This is the new business card, especially if you're going to be in this digital world that's inevitably coming. We saw it during the pandemic.
Website like the OLEDs that you just showed.
Yeah.
Okay. If you pick up your phone and you look it up, I can guarantee you it's not mobile friendly.
That's also a great point.
Let's say most people are looking up websites on their phone.
Yeah.
Not everybody's on their computer.
Yeah.
That's in your pocket all day long. That is your new computer.
What did we see on the mobile traffic for the Megastar website, or the traffic for Megastar website was like 90 some odd percentile was mobile.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And for like registering for leads, all of our appointment requests, all of our workshop registrations, all of that stuff.
If the form doesn't look good on your phone, you're not going to convert.
Right.
And that goes for any type of lead gen.
Right.
That's why Facebook has become so powerful.
I know it's you know, and it's the apps and stuff like that. And I'm not saying every advisor needs to go build an app. You don't need to do that, but at least having a website that looks good in a mobile setting, that's imperative. It's important nowadays. It wasn't as important 10 years ago. It is absolutely a staple, a backbone of a business nowadays. Also, there's just some cool things you can do about it, like drip email campaigns. You were talking to me about that before we went on too. Like, the drip email campaigns have been widely overlooked.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks it's like I'm going to copy paste some piece of content on it. But the people that are taking some time, making like teaser clips, like I'm sure some of the viewers on here have seen teaser clips for even Coffee for Closers or for some of the things that Megastar does. Take that as inspiration, apply it to your day-to-day. And these are some of the best ways that we've found to get prospects back on the phone that it might have fallen off the pipeline, fallen off the wagon somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you've worked so hard to build this book of business, right? And you probably know your clients better than you know anybody else that you're bringing in, right? You've already had the sit down,
right? And
you understand their needs and their wants,
right?
Okay, so drip back on them. I mean, if not everybody was a sale, right?
Right.
But drip back on them with content that you know that they're going to like.
Oh, no doubt. And,
right?
and it's like, we've got the opportunity to now, like if you just want to get going, coming in and doing a consultation, whether virtually through Zoom or coming in and doing the studio like the Oulettes are doing.
Yep.
If David and Britton, they're going to come down for a day, they're making a vacation out of it, and they're going to come with their loved ones, which is awesome. Thank goodness, glad to hear it. It'll be good to see them. I'm very excited, but they're coming in for a purpose too. And they're gonna walk away with content in a classy studio that can do full scale production for them. Gonna put out all kinds of great content for them. That they're gonna walk away with a year's worth of content that they're gonna be able to put on their website, put on social if they need to. They're gonna be able to do whatever they want with.
That's huge.
And that's huge, absolutely huge. Anyway, other than that, maybe give us a rundown. I mean, we got the Megastar portal coming out as well. Yes. That's something that you and your team put together.
Very excited about that.
That'll be launched when? Do we have an idea?
We're shooting for the end of next week.
The end of next week. So hopefully by the time this episode airs, yes, that is already live and awesome. We went through it, Rick and I. It was the first time Rick had seen it, and yep, Rick was blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, what you guys were able to accomplish is huge. Advisors are going to use that as a resource, I know, going forward. Other than that, Learning Lab program, we just covered that too. Results are back to normal. You've got, or actually even better than they were in 2019. That's awesome. Then also the Fed program, which has kind of been rocking and rolling for a long time. Well, Dillon, thank you so much for spending some time and talking about the importance of website. If you are an advisor out there and you might have a website concern, or you're looking for an update, or you just want to find out what goes into getting a website done at Megastar for you, please give us a call. You can either talk to myself or our team internally here, your internal rep here at Megastar Advisors. Numbers on the screen. Thank you, Dillon. Thanks for joining us right here on the show. And everybody, we'll see you right here next time on Coffee for Closers. Thanks.